Welcome to Neural Wings, your source for Kalamazoo Wings game analysis and predictions, brought to you by absolutely no one. I'm your host, Ano, here to recap the last week of K-Wings hockey and what's ahead for the red, white, and blue. Central Division Update. The Central Division standings are beginning to stabilize as we pass the mid-January mark. As of January 19th, the Toledo Walleye remain the class of the division, sitting in first place with 47 points through 33 games played, and a record of 21 wins, 7 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 3 shootout losses. They are followed by the Fort Wayne Komets in second with 44 points and a record of 19-10 and 6-0. Indy Fuel currently holds the third spot with 39 points, 17-13-4-1, just 1 point ahead of the Bloomington Bison, who sit in fourth with 38 points, 17-13-2-2. The Cincinnati Cyclones remain in fifth place with 35 points and a 16-13 and 3-0 record. Our Kalamazoo Wings continue to hold the sixth position in the division. With 33 games played, the K-Wings have 32 points behind a record of 14 wins, 15 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses. While still in sixth, the team's recent momentum is undeniable. They managed to narrow the gap to within 3 points of Cincinnati. This week was a massive step forward, taking 4 out of 6 possible points against divisional rivals, keeping the K-Wings very much alive in the playoff hunt. Trailing far behind the pack are the Iowa Heartlanders, who remain in last place with 22 points and a 10-23-2-0 record. Game breakdowns. January 14th, 2026. Away win versus Iowa Heartlanders. Score 3-2. The Wings took their momentum on the road to Xtream Arena, grinding out a tough victory against the Heartlanders. David Kiefer and Colin Bielik gave Kalamazoo an early 2-0 lead in the first period, with Bielik's goal coming on the power play. After Iowa fought back to tie the game in the second, Andre Gantus buried another power play goal in the third period to seal the 3-2 win. Ty Young earned the win with 29 saves on 31 shots, while the Wings' power play was lethal, going 2 for 4 on the night. January 16th, 2026. Home loss versus Indy Fuel. Score 1-4. The weekend series against Indy got off to a rocky start at the Wings Event Center. The Fuel jumped out to a commanding 3-0 lead in the first period, chasing Ty Young from the net after just 14:56 of play. Jonathan Lemieux provided solid relief, stopping 19 of 20 shots over 43-24, but the damage was already done. David Kiefer netted the lone goal for the K-Wings in the third period, but a late empty netter for Indy ended any hopes of a comeback. Despite outshooting Indy 29-28, Kalamazoo's special teams struggled, going 0 for 1 on the power play. January 17th, 2026. Away overtime win versus Indy Fuel. Score 3-2. The K-Wings showed incredible heart in a rematch at the Fishers Event Center. Trailing 2-0 midway through the game, Zach Okabe, recently reassigned from Abbotsford, scored to cut the lead in half. Colin Bielik tied it up on the power play early in the third, sending the game to overtime. In the extra frame, Jaden Lee became the hero, burying the winner just 56 seconds in. Jonathan Lemieux was fantastic in his start, making 28 saves to secure the extra point. Performance analysis. The story of the week for Kalamazoo was their remarkable competitive maturity and a rejuvenated special teams unit that appears to be finding its rhythm at exactly the right time. After a demoralizing home loss on Friday, where the team appeared flat in the opening frame, the Wings demonstrated elite resilience by traveling to Indy and erasing a 2-goal deficit to secure a character-defining overtime victory. This never-say-die mentality has been spearheaded by a power play that finally clicked, accounting for half of the team's total goals across their 2 wins. Furthermore, the seamless integration of returning assets like Zach Okabe and Jaden Lee provided the necessary offensive depth to outlast high-quality divisional rivals. On the flip side, the Wings must address a recurring trend of sluggish starts and localized discipline issues that are forcing them to play high-energy catch-up hockey. The opening 15 minutes on Friday against Indy were particularly concerning, as the team was essentially buried before they could find their skating legs. While the penalty kill eventually settled in, a flurry of minor penalties, specifically high-sticking and hooking calls, put undue stress on the defensive rotation and disrupted the team's offensive flow. Goaltending also saw a minor spike in volatility. While Jonathan Lemieux was exceptional in relief and his Saturday start, the coaching staff will likely be looking for more consistency from Ty Young to avoid early-game goalie changes moving forward. Roster moves. The K-Wings front office was extremely active this week, executing a series of strategic moves to bolster the lineup for the second half of the season. The defensive unit underwent a significant transformation as Orlando Mainolfi was activated from reserve early in the week, while Powell Connor was moved to reserve and Ryan Helliwell was dealt to Adirondack in a midweek trade. The forward depth was equally fluid. The team added Keyshawn Gervais and briefly signed Nathan Burke before he was released to waivers, while Evan Dougherty was placed on the 3-day IR. The most impactful boost, however, came from the AHL affiliate, as Zach Okabe was reassigned from Abbotsford just in time to deliver key offensive production over the weekend. This week also saw a change in the crease, as Aku Koskenvuo was recalled to Abbotsford, officially handing the net to the tandem of Young and Lemieux for the foreseeable future. Affiliate update. The Abbotsford Canucks currently sit in 10th place in the Pacific Division with 30 points and a record of 12-23-3. Over the last 7 days, the Canucks showed flashes of high-end potential, highlighted by a gritty 5-3 road victory over the San Diego Gulls on January 14th. However, their offensive momentum stalled on January 16th, falling 1-0 in a defensive rematch against the Gulls. Roster movement remains a key theme as goaltender Aku Koskenvuo was officially recalled to Abbotsford on January 12th to solidify their depth, while forward Zach Okabe was reassigned to Kalamazoo on January 16th to provide immediate scoring punch for the K-Wings. Upcoming games. Looking ahead, the K-Wings have a massive opportunity to continue their climb up the Central Division standings. This Monday, January 19th, the team travels to take on the Cincinnati Cyclones at 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a game that carries huge implications as the Wings sit just 3 points back of the 5th-place Cyclones. Later in the week, it's a heavyweight home-and-away series against the division-leading Toledo Walleye. The Wings hit the road for Huntington Center on Friday, January 23rd, at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, before returning to the Wings Event Center on Saturday, January 24th, for Star Wars Night. Puck drop at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, that's it for today. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend. It helps out more than you know. I'm Ano, and this is Neural Wings. Let's go, K-Wings.